You were drafted 99 days ago. How have you grown in that 99 days since you've been a Maverick?
Wow, that's a great count. You just try to learn every day. You try to win each day. Try to make sure, no matter if it's film, no matter if it's on the court, no matter if it's in the weight room, just try to improve however you can. Just 1% every day.
What are some of the ways you feel you've learned the most during that period?
Just being able to, how much the speed of the NBA changes the game, but also you have to slow yourself down. To be able to find the easy things, find the easy moves. Sometimes you don't have to take as many steps. Sometimes you don't have to take as many moves to get to a certain spot. Just being able to just try to pick the minds of the vets to try to figure out the game is definitely what I've been doing.
Are there any parts of your game in particular that you've emphasized and feel have improved as you've worked at the team facilities in Summer League?
Definitely my touch, being able to work on my touch game, no matter if it's a right hook, a left hook, a little floater coming down the middle. Definitely working on setting screens, be able to get my teammates open, and just being able to try to be a defensive force down low to back up my teammates.
What's it been like to have Tyson Chandler around as a mentor and somebody that you can talk to about things on the court, off the court, all of those things, and just even hearing a lot of comparisons to somebody like that? How does that feel?
He's an amazing player. He's an amazing person. He has an amazing character. I feel like he's someone that I've already learned so much from. After each play, after each little practice, one little clip, he's always there to have something to say. No matter if it's telling me what I should have done right, telling me how I can correct myself, or if I did something right. He's always been able to just tell me what I need to hear, not what I want to hear.
Dereck, from all indications, you got a shot to be the opening day starter at center. What would that mean to you if that happened?
It's something I dream about, but what I'm trying to do is try to win every day so I can earn that spot. It's not something I think I'm going to be guaranteed. It's something I have to earn.
Your teammates and Luka all been talking about the chemistry you two have, and with the pick and rolls and the alley oops. Could you talk about how quickly you got that chemistry with Luka, or what's it like playing and knowing what he wants?
It was the first day he came back. I think we started to play a little bit of 5-on-5, and from then on, I've been on his team. Seems like he likes what I do because I make his job easier and he makes my job easier. So I know I'm gonna try to get him open as best as possible, and if he's going down the lane, I know if I'm 2 or 3 steps to the side that people are gonna have to step to me for the lob threat, so it's going to give Luka open lane. So that's kind of the job.
And that part of Luka's game is deception, and you got to be ready because what he's going to trick the defense into doing is going to be something opposite. Are you prepared for all that? Are you noticing it?
Oh, I've already noticed it. There's been some passes where I've caught, and I'm like, there's no way I should have gotten this pass, or there's no way the ball should be here. But just being able to know that I always got to have my mind ready, my eyes up, and my hands up, it just makes me a better player.
Some of your teammates have complimented your ahead of schedule, I guess you could say, for understanding the schemes and things of that nature. What has helped you to continue to comprehend the schemes? And are there any veteran teammates that have helped you in particular with that?
Definitely just being able to just know that I take whatever I learned from the summer league aspect and just try to take it a step up for preseason. Being able to know that I'm trying to pick Dwight's brain, I'm picking Kai's brain, I'm picking Luka's brain to try to figure out their tempos, try to figure out what they like to do. They like to go right this certain way, and if they are going right and they do one stop, that means they're snaking. That means they're going to come back around. It's really just understanding each scheme and everybody's own characteristics of the game is something I've been trying to do.
The expectations are there and the comparisons are there. Do you feel any type of pressure, Dereck, as the season begins, or will you play with the freedom of just knowing who you are and what you bring?
I mean, there's always going to be pressure. You shouldn't let pressure just kind of hold you down, because if it wasn't pressure, it wouldn't be that fun. It wouldn't make the lows that low and wouldn't make the highs high. So just being able to know that I'm going to go in there, I know I'm not going to do amazing off the start. I know I'm not going to be able to be the top guy, but I'm going to learn every day, and I'm going to get better each game, each practice, each day, and that's going to get me to where I need to be.
Hey, Dereck, Coach Kidd talked about the importance of you and Omax fitting in with Kyrie, Luka, and Grant when going through training camp. You talked about your fit with Luka. How do you feel like you fit with the big group of those 3 guys right there?
I feel like me and O definitely fit in very well. I feel like we complement everybody's flashy game with our, dirty work game. You feel like me and Omax definitely handle things on the defensive end and try to make the things on the offensive end easier for for our 1-2 combo. Just being able to know that since I'm getting reps in with this group and getting reps in like that, it makes me want to just focus and learn that much more.
What personal goals have you set for yourself this season, Derek?
I just want to be the most coachable player out there on the floor. I want to learn. I want to get better. I want to win games. I'm not going to go out there chasing an award. I'm not going to go out there chasing a title. I'm going out there chasing wins, and the wins is going to give me those titles.
So you spent a lot of time in Dallas getting ready for the season. What did you know about Dallas before, and maybe what have you learned about Dallas since you've been here?
I ain't know nothing about Texas. I've never been to Texas till I came down here. I got when I first came down here, the media asked me what's my favorite type of barbecue. And I didn't even know what to say. I said steak. And so we all know that's wrong. Yeah, so it took me a little bit to understand, the aspects of being a part of Texas, being a part of Dallas, and I love it. I love being a part of here. I love the heat, and I love the culture that's down here.
You figured out the barbecue question?
I haven't figured out. I've had some, but I'm still trying to open up my views. I've had some ribs, I've had some brisket, so I'm just trying to slowly open up my horizon.
All right.
Thank you. Need that.
Could you talk about your footwork a little bit? I'm only bringing that up because sometimes rookies get into foul trouble, and I know you're probably going to be aware of those things. Can you talk about your game and how, you're going to probably be aware that refs may call fouls on rookies a lot?
There's definitely going to be times where I'm going to wall straight up, and my hands are probably going to be straight up, and they're still going to call a foul. But they're still going to be able to just have that piece, the same under control, just know to just keep going. I got to get to the next play, no matter if that's moving my feet down low to slide over to help, or if I'm switching onto a guard and making sure I'm creating space so make sure he's not getting into my body and I'm keeping them in front of me. So it just comes along with just a lot of repetition, a lot of patience and time.
Outside of basketball, do you have any hobbies?
I play a little bit of video games, but I just like to spend time with my family, making sure I'm calling them every day, making sure I'm talking to my friends and family, the people who've been with me throughout this entire road. I try to make sure that they're doing well, try to make sure I stay in contact, because it keeps me grounded. The people who knew me when I didn't have a name for myself are still around. It just makes it that much better.
Have you traveled much around the world at all, or?
No. This is the first trip, man. 14 hours is minimum 14-hour flight. It seems like a lot, but I'm gonna do it we going to Abu Dhabi, so I'm gonna just be quiet and sit down.
You bring up a good point about reaching to your family. At 19, it's not just basketball you can be adjusting to. It's life after college.
Mm-hmm.
Will you have family members close by, or who's going to maybe help you make that adjustment just to like everyday life?
I have my small circle. The people who have my best interests in mind. My mother, my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, my agent, and even my close friends. There'd be times where I ask them a question and they they don't worry about what I want to hear. They tell me what I need to hear. Tell me if I'm doing is the right thing, is the wrong thing, or if I shouldn't be doing a specific thing. And that's why I keep my people around and try to make sure I have their back like they have mine.
Hey, Dereck, we all see the new ink, and we heard you talk about on a podcast the tattoos you got for your mom. Could you talk a little bit about what those are and what that means, and also just your overall relationship with your mom and how much she means to you?
Got you. Yeah, my mom's the reason I play basketball. She's the reason why I just keep going. I try to make sure I spoil her and give her the best life possible because she's been through hell and back. I have a tattoo right here for my mom. Life isn't measured by the breaths we take, but by the moments that take her breath away. That's always been our saying. That's always been like above our couch, above the campfire, above anything. It's always been around the house. And on my thigh that I have I have August 9th, 2022, and that's the day we got the call that she was cancer free. So, I got that tatted on my knee, on my thigh. So anytime I put my hands on my knees, it makes me just stand back up because she's been through more pain than I could ever be in. But, she just like me. She loud, lively for sure.
What's the biggest advice that she's given you, ever since you were drafted to Summer League to now?
She just always told me not to look too far ahead, not to look at not trying to look at next month when I try to get to tomorrow. Trying to be able to just win each day, try to be able to just make that 1% each day. It's kind of that's been our motto for a very long time. And if it's not broke, we ain't gonna fix it. So we're gonna keep going with our motto. We're gonna keep trying to keep our heads high.
How old were you when she put you in basketball, and did you like it right away?
Honestly, I hated basketball when I first played it. When I first stepped in, I thought it was my mom's sport. I wanted nothing to do with it. I used to swim. I really used to swim. I used to be an elementary schooler, some of my high schoolers. And then around fourth grade, I'd say, I started to pick up a basketball because I was just playing with my friends. Since I was so tall, nobody wanted me to play with them because it was just unfair. So just as this story kind of went on, it just seemed like basketball just kind of gravitated towards me more and more. And now, look where we at. So I think basketball definitely was the right choice.
How old were you when you first started liking basketball?
I'd probably say middle school. Probably around 6th or 7th grade. That's whenever I figured out that I could potentially do something with this if I stay to it.
How tall you were at that time?
I came out of elementary school like 6 foot, so probably like 6'4", around there, 6'4", 6'5". So I'd say, yeah, I was always tall.
You say you're loud, so has it ever been a challenge on the court? Because of your position, you have to be such a vocal guy. Has that always come easily? And when you step on a court with all these NBA superstars, have you had any moments where you're like, get your tongue tied a little bit in those moments?
For me, like I always it helps my head go. It helps me understand the game whenever I'm talking out loud. It kind of just helps me understand, like, what are the options, what kind of makes everything easier. And whenever I speak, whenever I talk, it makes my teammates know I got their back and it makes their job easier. So I know that no matter if I'm talking, saying ice, saying weak, saying switch, saying red, just being able to be loud and make sure that my teammates from the top of the key to the bottom of the key can hear me. And it's going to be hard with the packed stadium. But you guys are probably going to hear my voices whenever you're on the sideline. You're going to hear me for sure.
Dereck, the weight room is a pretty important part of the developmental process for a young big man. How helpful has it been for you to not have to worry about college, but be fully focused on your development during this period after the draft?
It just makes that's part of being a pro. It makes you have to worry about your time, worry about what you eat, worry about what you're doing, and how you carry yourself. I feel like I've definitely spent a lot of time in the gym, making sure I'm gaining weight, and I'm pretty sure like I'm right around 240 consistently now. So just being able to know that I'm putting weight on and holding weight, it makes you know that the work's working.
Who's your favorite player growing up?
That's very hard. I like to watch AI. I like to watch Kevin Garnett and Shaq for sure. Yeah, AI was just because I'm from Philly, though.
Dereck, you talked about possibly starting, and then also Jason Kidd has talked about Max having heavy minutes as well. Just what does that feel to you, having a defensive-minded head coach?
It just makes me know that I got to take my job as serious as possible, to make sure that if they trust me to do this, that means I have to give them a reason to. I got to make sure that I'm holding my head high. I got to make sure that knowing every time I step on the floor, I got to be a defensive force to back up everybody. So that's just a mentality, and that's what's going to be a factor stepping into each game.
Hey, Dereck, on draft night, you and Omax, that's my brother. Y'all have been going through everything together. Could you talk a little bit about you and Omax's friendship and how y'all are going through all this new stuff together?
Man, we lean on each other. There's some times where we both confused. Sometimes we both don't know where we're going. Sometimes there's he catches me whenever I'm making sure that he's on my ass if I'm on bullshit, and I'm on his ass if he's on bullshit, essentially. That's the easiest way to say it. But just being able to know that we try to lift each other's energy up. Each day in practice, each day while we're lifting, you're going to hear us yelling at each other. We're going to making sure that we hear each other. And, when we mess up on the court, we're leaning on each other. Like, yeah, you good, I got your back. Making sure, don't worry about that. Next shot, just keep it going. But it's just being able to know that I'm not alone and he's not alone. We're both rookies going through this. We're both, many times we're out here where we're doing like media things. We're getting kicked off by the vets, but we're rookies, so we got nothing to do. We got nothing to say. So it's just kind of being able to know that we could just laugh about it with one another.
Dwight Powell said that you guys have been bringing a lot of energy, or there's been a lot of energy in practice this year, the whole 9 yards, and beyond just playing, but energy on and off the court. Has that been going on all summer long since you've been here, or did you guys lift it up a little higher because the veterans showed it?
I feel like it's always just been some energy with the Mavs staff. You know, even with the staff, with the players. I just feel like the energy comes from the competitiveness and then, just the will to just try to win, no matter if that's a simple drill or if that's 5-on-5. And I feel like I always felt like there was energy in the Mavs facility, but I guess there might have been a difference. But, I'm an energy bringer, and I'll make sure I bring energy wherever I go.
I was talking to Tyson earlier this week, and he said you remind him of him. When you hear something like that, how does that make you feel?
He's definitely said that many times. I'm just grateful. It's kind of funny that we're built the same. We both are tatted on the right arm, tatted on the left leg somehow. And, at first I was never really familiar with Tyson's game until I really started to research, to do my work, to do my homework. And then I realized, I'm like, wow, like we really do play the same. We have the same demeanor. And he's 40-something. He has the same energy as me. So that's just being able to know that we kind of like reflect off of one another. We always laugh and we're always smiling, but he's always the first person to tell me if I'm doing something wrong. And he's always the first person to help me critique my game. So I'm just grateful to be able to have somebody like that in my position.
Is there a particular matchup you're looking forward to or excited about?
I'm just excited to go out there and just play my first game. I feel like each game in my head is a circle. I'm circling each game just to know I'm playing an NBA game. Just to be able to know that I finally. My dream started because my dream wasn't to make it to the NBA. My dream is to stay in the NBA. So that's the difference.
You talked about getting, you talked about your connection with Luka so far, but how has your connection been with Kyrie Irving now that you've been getting like those first team reps in the first couple of
Good. I really think my chemistry with Kyrie is actually a lot farther than I thought it would be. I feel like he was going to tell you exactly what he wants. He's going to tell you exactly how it's going to go, and it's going to go exactly how he said. It's kind of funny. He's going to say, if they come this way on this screen, I'm going to go exactly this way. That means you do this. And it works. So it's just kind of funny just to be able to see the veterans and be able to know that their mind of basketball is not thinking 2 steps ahead, it's thinking 5 steps ahead. So they're playing chess, not checkers.
Dereck, what's been the number one thing that you've learned from Kyrie?
Definitely learning his timing. Being able to know that he could get around a defender without a doubt, like without a problem. And then once that happens, he's by his defender. Only thing that's going to stop him is if 2 people come over to help, not just one, because he has an unbelievable ability to finish. So I know exactly how I can play in my little sweet spot, knowing that if he needs a bailout, I'm right there. And if he's putting a shot up, I got the put back if he misses. We all good? Appreciate y'all. What'd you eat for today? What'd you eat for breakfast today?
Talking to me?
Nah, I'm talking to you. What'd you eat for breakfast today?
I ate strawberries, muffin with peanut butter and strawberry jam.
That's a good breakfast. Appreciate you for telling me. Everyone have a good one.
You too.